So, welcome to my stay-at-home Noni cleanup. Yep, we are going to tackle this closet, and this closet is primarily dedicated for my granddaughter's toys and a couple of little bins in here for the dog stuff, but mostly for her stuff. So, I'm going to show you how I'm going to take this little closet and turn it into another nice clean area. It's been probably about a good, I would say 3 months since I put together that little cubby bin, and it does need to just be cleaned up and kind of donate some toys and get rid of the junk before Christmas. So stay tuned. Here we go. I first start with a garbage bag and also a box so I can just dispose of things that can go to Goodwill. I like using over the door shoe hangers. I think they're handy. I use them for our slippers, our shoes, and also just for some extra little incidentals. And I'll put inside those pockets little things that belong to her that it's okay for her to just go in and get. So I will use these shoe racks on the inside of any door that I can, because I think it's a great way to store things vertically. And then I am going to proceed to just starting to grab the stuff and move it out of there, and that way I can sit down and go through each bin and just kind of clean out and get rid of what we don't need. This is just a small closet, but it's got some depth to it, so utilizing one of those storage bins with the little cubbies is really perfect for her, because it's more her level and she can get right in there and pull out a little cubby. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this, as you can see, in fast motion. And of course there's my doggie, and oh yes, another grandma in the house, but she walked away pretty fast. She sees what I'm doing and is like, nope, want no part of it. And of course the dog recognizes her bins, and so she'll be in and out making a visit, making sure that I don't get rid of anything that belongs to her. So I'm just kind of looking around and assessing, maybe I need another bag. And so that's what I did. And now I'm going to sit down and just kind of go through her coloring books and get rid of some of the loose pages, and just dispose of some of the sticker books and color books that are pretty well used up. And if they're not, I'll keep them. You accumulate so many of them, and it's always fun to keep a good stock of them on hand, but some of them are just well loved and well used, and they just need to be thrown out. So these are just some of her little puzzle books, and I keep them in magazine box holders, because that way when she wants to color or she's in the mood to use her markers, I can just tell her, go pull a book out of your little bin, and she'll do that. And then that little blue box right there, it says kindergarten on it. That was my son's crayon box from when he was in kindergarten, and he's 37 now, and I kept it all these years. There's just a few things that you just put up with, because you can't keep everything. But I am going to share with you in this video a couple of other things that belonged to him when he was little. And we always took really good care of things, and I stored this for years and years, and I thought, oh, someday, wouldn't it be cool to be able to pass that down to one of his children? And sure enough, I keep the crayons in that box for her, and then I tell her that this was your daddy's box when he was in kindergarten, so she thinks that's pretty cool. Um, of course, most of the markers that I purchase for her are washable because she has a tendency to like to also mark herself up. One day she told me she was a robot, and yeah, she had pretty much colored her arms and face brown and black. But, you got to encourage the imagination, because what would life be without the imagination? Um, you can see here that I like to store things in Ziploc baggies. I think it just makes for easy cleanup. Here I'm going through all of her Play-Doh, and I don't think I found one little canister that didn't have an assortment of mix and match Play-Dohs, but some had hardened and some it just wasn't worth keeping, so I pitched it. That right there is a little pillow and a mouse, and that also was part of my son's nursery when he was born, and that was one of the other little toys I kept. And there was a cartoon that my granddaughter used to love to watch, and I don't think it's on anymore, but there was a little mouse on it, and the mouse's name was Noodles. And so I brought the pillow and the mouse out, and we named the mouse Noodles, and that's his sleeping home, and she loves playing with it. And I just think it's just so sweet that she has some toys to play with that belong to her daddy. Now, the games that she has, which of course are kids' games, I do keep those up because I really don't want her dumping, a ton of games out at one time. And some of these or these zippered plastic bags, these may be bags that I have collected that sets of bed sheets come in, or pillowcases, and I keep them all because they all have nice zippers on them, and I use a lot of them to store her toys in. I really like that they're sturdy, and so I always find good use for them. And here I'm just going through her groupings of animals that she loves to play with, and just putting them into the individual little bags. And then I stick those bags inside the bins. And again, she knows that when she empties one of those bags, she'll just throw it back into the bin, and then she'll play with her toys. And then, of course, at the end of the day, I sit there and go through and sort them all out. But it's not that much. And she was with me this last week, so we kind of went through a lot of toys, and I really just didn't have a chance to sit down and organize or reorganize everything into their individual little plastic bags. So here I'm continuing to go through bins, and what I try to do is to put like things together. That was a little clock that she loves to play with. I think she's basically outgrown some of these toys, but I'll keep them until we get closer to Christmas, and then pass them on or donate them. But that little clock is hers, and it happened, that was not my son's, but he had one that was very similar to that when he was growing up and loved playing with it. And so I bought her that one, I think at Big Lots when she was 1, and she just always loves to play with it. And so I'm continuing on with the cleanup. That little choo-choo keeps going off, and I thought maybe it had an on and off button, but it doesn't. And there's been a couple of occasions, I just have to tell you this, that like in the middle of the night, one of those little toy gadgets just goes off. I think because maybe the angle it was sitting in inside the box or laying against, then it kind of moved. Oh my gosh. And that can be a little bit scary when you're thinking, what was that? Especially in a dead sleep. Now this is her little Bunnikins house and all the little critters that go with it, and I do put those into little baggies, and I just keep the furniture out because then it's easy to close and store them inside the house. She does love this little thing and she plays with it a lot, but it does take a beating, so it's kind of has a lot of little characters and little furniture, so I do try to keep things as organized as I can. And then I'll just store those bags right inside and then just close it. Whoops, I think I forgot. I found some play money and need to get it in that cash register, but the drawer doesn't want to close. I'll get it sooner or later. And that little thing, oh my gosh, we play grocery store and she has a whole bag of food, and so we have to play grocery store, and she'll drive her best friend Monkey George and her animals Dumbo and in the car, and then they go grocery shopping with the basket, and she loves to dump those little plastic grocery food items all over the place, and I find them in the cracks of the couches and yeah, no, underneath, but we have a good time while she's here playing. So now I have a few of those bins all put together, and the dog seemed to have a little interest in what I'm doing because she knows I've got her little bins out, and she just grabbed something off the floor and took it over by the front door. I'm sure I'll catch up with that later. She'll be back though, because once she realizes I'm going through her stuff, she'll come wagging her tail back like, "Oh, mommy, mommy," like she is right now. "What are you doing? Don't you get rid of any of my stuff." Oh no, of course not. But I do keep 2 bins in that closet because it's easy for me to get her leash and collar out when I need them. And I keep all of her shampoos and brushes, and these are her little pill packs that she just likes to eat without the pills in them. And she was sensing that I was going through some of her stuff, and most of her stuff was pretty good, but some I had to just get rid of. And oh, that's a toy bubble thing for outside for my granddaughter, so I will take that out of the dog's bin and put it in with the toys. Oh, she seems to be like very concerned about, she sees food bowls, so does that mean you're going to get fed? Nope, it just means I'm going to clean up the bins. It's looking like I'm starting to make some progress, and some of the upper bins I just store some of the games that I want to make sure that I get down for her, because there are some of those games that they just have so many little pieces, and I like for her to ask for them, and then that way I can get them. But it's always nice when it's reorganized and clean and she can get in and out easily, and she's not fumbling or tripping over things. And you know, it's just one of those things that you can add to whatever it is that you're doing or cleaning that day. And I needed to do the floors, but I figured, you know, I think what I'll do is, you know, tackle this because I'm probably going to end up throwing stuff on the floor.
Half completed. This is an over the hanger
door shoe holder, and I do put some of her smaller items in there that I'm okay with if she gets, and usually keep the slippers in here. And I just straightened up, put some games up in one of the bins, left a few of the other games out, just straightened up. I keep these 2 black bins here for my dog's bathing stuff and just her collar and all of that. And then I just regrouped her cubbies, put everything back. She's got a little more room, cleaned up her coloring books and sticker books, and just kind of grouped everything together. So hey, not a bad quick cleanup. And I know I'll do one more most definitely before Christmas, because some of these toys she is just a little too big with. For she still plays with them, but I think after Christmas we'll have more to put in here. So closet's back, and good job.